Now we come to the doctrine of non-doing. This is Purana Kassapa's doctrine. Householders, there are some recluses and Brahmins whose doctrine and view is this: when one acts or makes others act, when one mutilates or makes others mutilate, when one tortures or makes others inflict torture, when one inflicts sorrow and makes others inflict sorrow, when one oppresses or makes others inflict oppression, when one intimidates or makes others inflict intimidation, when one kills living beings, takes what is not given, breaks into houses, plunders wealth, commits burglary, ambushes highways, seduces another's wife, utters falsehood, no evil is done by the doer. If with a razor-rimmed wheel one were to make the living beings on this earth into one mass of flesh, into one heap of flesh, because of this there would be no evil and no outcome of evil. If one were to go along the south bank of the Ganges, killing and slaughtering, mutilating and making others mutilate, torturing and making others inflict torture, because of this there would be no evil and no outcome of evil. If one were to go along the north bank of the Ganges, giving gifts and making others give gifts, making offerings and making others make offerings, because of this there would be no merit and no outcome of merit. By giving, by taming oneself, by restraint, by speaking truth, there is no merit and no outcome of merit. Now, householders, of those recluses and Brahmins whose doctrine and view is this: when one acts or makes others act, there is no merit and no outcome of merit. It is to be expected that they will avoid these three wholesome states, namely good bodily conduct, good verbal conduct, and good mental conduct, and that they will undertake and practice these three unwholesome states, namely bodily misconduct, verbal misconduct, and mental misconduct. Why is that? Because those good recluses and Brahmins do not see in unwholesome states the danger, degradation and defilement, nor do they see in wholesome states the blessing of renunciation, the aspect of cleansing. Since there actually is doing, one who holds the view there is no doing has wrong view. Since there actually is doing, one who thinks there is no doing has wrong thoughts. Since there actually is doing, one who makes the statement there is no doing has wrong speech. Since there actually is doing, one who says there is no doing is opposed to those arahants who hold the doctrine that there is doing. Since there actually is doing, one who convinces another there is no doing convinces him to accept an untrue Dhamma. And because he convinces another to accept an untrue Dhamma, he praises himself and disparages others. Thus, any pure virtue that he formerly had is abandoned, and corrupt conduct is substituted. And this wrong view, wrong thoughts, wrong speech, opposition to noble ones, convincing another to accept an untrue Dhamma, and self-praise and disparagement of others, these several evil unwholesome states thus come into being with wrong view as condition. About this a wise man considers thus: if there is no doing, then on the dissolution of the body, this good person will have made himself safe enough. But if there is doing, then on the dissolution of the body after death, he will reappear in a state of deprivation, in an unhappy destination, in perdition, even in hell. Now, whether or not the word of those good recluses and Brahmins is true, let me assume that there is no doing. Still, this good person is here and now, censured by the wise as an immoral person, one of wrong view, who holds the doctrine of non-doing. But on the other hand, if there is doing, then this good person has made an unlucky throw on both counts, since he is censured by the wise here and now, and since on the dissolution of the body after death, he will reappear in a state of deprivation, in an unhappy destination, in perdition, even in hell. He has wrongly accepted and undertaken this incontrovertible teaching in such a way that it extends only to one side and excludes the wholesome alternative. So the rest of it is the same. This is the doctrine of non-doing. Purana Kassapa's doctrine that there is no kamma, there is no vipaka. So if a person believes in this, it has this wrong view, then he will misconduct himself through the body, speech and mind, and because of misconduct, in this very life, he is looked down by others, criticized by the wise, and after that, if there is another world, then he will be reborn in a unhappy destination, even in hell. And conversely, if a person has right view, there's the opposite.